Ooh, hello everyone. It's me, KP. I'm here in my studio, The Moon and the Maker, home of Art Foamies. And I'm here for Art Foamy Fun Friday. If you can believe it's Friday again. Anyway, it is what day? It's the 26th, Friday the 26th. It's our last Friday in July. Can you believe it? Because I certainly can't. Time really is flying, but I must be having a lot of fun. And I hope you are too. Kay Krings is here, Megan, Evelyn, Ellen, Amy, Catherine, Sharon, Ron, also known as Patty. Let's see. Who, Krabby Abby is here. D. Ray. Oh my gosh, yes, you were gone for a while. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, and I'm thinking about you. Thanks for sharing that, D. Ray. And I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight. Ginger, nice to see you. Christina is here. Mary Lynn is in the house. Wendy, happy Friday. Renee is here. Shar, Carmen, Roberta, Virginia, Phyllis, Julie, also known as Shiny Things. Deborah is here. Susan, Terry, and Cecilia. So far. All right. Yay. Okay, I hope you had a great week. We are here for just a little fun. I will tell you, we have a lot of new stuff going on. I have so many things to tell you about, but I don't have anything exactly like brand new right this minute. Well, I do, but it's not listed, so you know how that goes. I want to tell you that yes, because let's just tell you a few things that we're working on, okay? We are working on some holiday stamps that will be released sometime in, well, actually, I already know the date. We have a special guest and a special release, and many of our artists are coming out with some holiday stuff, and that will be the third week in August, okay? Also, remember that Megan Quinlan's Art Foamies for this pop-up, the one that's in the shop right now, will be ending on the 31st. Okay, so no more of those Megan stamps. So if you, and I'll show them again, I'll do a flip through of the journal so you can see them all again. And we will be working with her inky girl, okay, tonight. Um, also, let's see. Did I already say this? We're having a fodder school release next week, so it's a surprise. So show up next Friday to find out all the deets. And then who else? What else? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. We are going to have a little bit of art foamy fun, of course, and we will play the numbers game. I already have it all. Look how organized I am tonight. And I don't know if Kathy Bernard is here. I'm so, from last week. I hope that you received your gift card because I had it confused, and so it took a while. Sorry about that. Puffer is here. Nice to see you. I hope you're feeling better, Puff, each day. Patty is here, and Jenny. Nice to see you all. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around. Unless anybody has any specific questions, well, I can still answer those with the camera turned around. I have a little fun demo for you tonight. And I also, oh my gosh, I forgot my biggest announcement of all. Of course I did. So I don't know how many of you watched last week. I think it was last week. It goes by too quick. When I told you that I was going to be coming out with one of my first classes in 5 years. Now, you all know that I do daily hearts almost every day. I do Art Foamy Fun Friday every Friday. I do a lot of live streams, but I have not done a pre-recorded class in about 5 years. So I hope that you all have had a chance to see. I did a little sneak peek, or well, it's not really a sneak peek. It's more like a preview. And it is, I wanted to mention, it is over on my Patreon page, okay? However, like you don't have to be a patron. Lots of stuff over there that's either for free or that you can purchase and not be a patron, okay? I have a shop on Patreon where you can go and you can get all my digital downloads, and now you can purchase my class. This is called Upcycled Art Foamies, and it is just a little quick class, no chatter, no, you know, you don't have to be there for a live stream. And this is something new that I'm starting over on my Patreon, and they're called studio sessions. Okay, so if you love ArtFoamies, it's great to go over and check out my Patreon page because well, because I own ArtFoamies. So if you love ArtFoamies, it is a great place to keep up with all things ArtFoamies. I think that most of you know I have somebody actually kind of dedicated now to helping me. Her name is Blue. How appropriate is that? She is a Blue Moonie, all right, and she is helping me get more organized and be able to get these classes you know, out to you. I'm so excited about it because it is something that I wanted to do for the longest time. Okay. And it's just been on the back burner, but now, and so we will be having so many fun classes like that. And again, it's just nice because you don't have to show up for, you know, a live stream. You can watch them at your own leisure and they're very focused. Okay. Unlike me, who is usually not focused. The classes are going to be very straightforward and to the point. Okay. Yes, Patty, these are still available. And actually, they come in different sizes. I think maybe either 2 or 3 sizes. Evelyn says, I'm taking the Imperfect Journal class now. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see your journal. It is really probably my favorite class. And it was before I owned ArtFoamies. So I'd love to do another and, or, you know, like a part 2. So anyway, thank you all so much for letting me give you the scoop. Okay. So we are going to have a little fun over here in a different way. And of course, if you have any questions, you know where to find me, right? So I don't know how many of you have worked with watercolor grounds before, but it is something that I love to dabble in. You know that I love watercolors, and you know that I love ArtFoamies. So I'm going to combine my loves of 2 things, and the fun, great thing about watercolor ground is that you can turn any surface into a watercolor substrate pretty much. Okay, so here I have 2 birch wood panels. Okay, and I did this a couple different ways and I wanted to show you the difference. Okay, so this one is done and I was experimenting. Okay, I'm gonna interrupt myself for a moment and just tell you one of the fun things I like to do over in Patreon is post an idea and then see what you all think. Should I keep it in my KP private collection or should I list it for sale? So I just will post something that I've made for myself and then see what you all think. This was something that I posted. So far I have about, and it's a yay or a nay. And so far I think the yays do outweigh the nays. So we probably will be listing this soon. I did it sort of as an imprint pad. Okay, it's the same size, 6x8, and it is an architectural rendering. Okay, a vintage architectural blueprint. Okay, that I took and I turned it into an ArtFoamie. The cool thing about, and here it is stamped out, okay, exactly as it reads. So then what I did, and I didn't have any 6x8 birch panels, so I figured this 5x5 would be good enough. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, we will be listing it soon. I have a couple other new stamps coming out myself. Okay, more little favorites, self-indulgent ones, and so I just figure I'll list that real soon. And it'll just be up in the shop. All right. So, ooh, thank you so much. Yes, you can go over to my Patreon. I can't remember. I have to be honest. I'll have to go back over there and look. Maybe it is just something we will open up and let you all vote on them. Okay. Because I don't know if it's open to the public or open just to the paid tiers. But anyway, this, as you can see, is the blueprint stamp. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken this watercolor grounds. Again, this is a core golden product, and I am a golden artist educator. and I do receive product for any workshops that I teach. Just a little disclaimer. Okay, so I'm going to, now I want to show this to you. It is not gesso. Okay, it's not gesso. It looks like gesso. It has a very similar consistency, but it absolutely is not the same. Okay, so I will tell you, you want to apply it, you know, with a dry brush. You don't want your brush to be wet, and you don't want your surface to be wet. Okay, you're going to be pretty generous with it, and actually, I will tell you the truth. 2 coats would have been ideal. I only did 1 coat because I was in a hurry, all right? But I will tell you that if you're doing this at home, you're going to want 2 fairly generous coats. And when I say that, you're going to put a coat and then you're going to let it dry really well. And that's at least, I would say, a minimum of about 3 hours. Follow the directions. And of course, if you have any questions, Golden is a Golden website. Okay, Golden Paint's website is a wonderful resource. Okay, so anyway, here I have a pretty generous coat of that on there. Now, if I were doing this not for a demo, I would let this dry and then I would put another coat and then I would stamp into it on the second coat when it's a little bit more set up. Okay, so I will let this set for a minute and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my 4x6 panel because I did them both the same. All right. However, I stamped them a little bit differently. I stamped her inky, okay, and she had a little bit of graphite, water-soluble graphite on her. My imprint pad was clean and dry. All right. So, and as you can, well, I say that it had a little tiny bit of blue acrylic and it did pull through a tiny bit, but it was dry. So it was really no big deal. All right. And again, I'm just letting this is a pretty thick coat. So I was letting that set up for a moment while I go over here and do this. And, you know, I think, well, maybe I should have prepared them ahead of time, but then I didn't know how long they would sit, you know, before I came on and stamped. So that's why I'm just doing it here for you this way. All right. So all right, and I want my brush strokes to be pretty smooth and even, okay? I am using, Catherine says, I missed what you're using. I am using Core watercolor grounds, okay? Now, keep in mind there are different types. This is just your plain watercolor ground, all right? They have some that are called cold press that are more like a thicker, makes it more textury. But this is just your plain watercolor ground, okay? Now, when I stamped my inky girl stamp, Megan's design, I had, you've all seen me do this, okay? And this is a brand new fresh one. I had one that I already used. Where did she go? Because I went and bought myself a fresh one. Oh no, here she is. Okay. So this one, all right, I had taken my Lyra water-soluble graphite stick, and I did that, and then I stamped into my watercolor grounds after it was a little bit set up. Now I am going to blow dry this just a little tiny bit, okay, because it's kind of thick, so kind of on a soft setting. I will tell you, it is very important that your watercolor ground is very dry before you start painting on it. Like, I will not be able to paint on these, okay, until tomorrow, all right? So if I stamp her, what I kind of want is a little bit of the sheen. Can you see that? I want a little bit of the sheen to go away, you know. So I'm gonna put my fan on here too. Oops. I have a fan right there, so I'm just gonna do that. Let me look at this one. This one, still a little bit of sheen on there too. Let me blow dry again for a quick second or two. Uh-oh, got something in there. Job hazard. Ugh, I need a tweezer. All right. Just so you know, that can happen. All right. Now I am going to take my square one. It still has a little bit of shine to it. I think it'll be okay. I'm just going to take that and stick it on there. I'm pressing really firmly. I really want to make sure that it's getting in those crevices, you know? All right, so now I'm holding it firm. I'm gonna go ahead and pray for the best. It's kind of like a gel plate thing, you know? Oh, well, it worked pretty good. You can see I got a fairly decent impression. However, it did do a little pulling, okay? So there's a little bit of texture on there. It's okay though, it's gonna be kind of cool. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And you can see I have this one here and it is dry, all right? Then this one, oh, and also you can take, maybe another piece of newsprint or something, okay? And actually I have some of this, this is some of that Yasutomo's sketch paper. I'm just going to use it. And I'll pull this off of that. And I'll get a really, I don't know if you can see it, but it's on there, okay? It's just a little bit of texture. All right, and I have one here too. I did it the same, and it pulled some of that acrylic with it, okay? So kind of you're getting like a twofer, okay? Don't let that dry on your stamp. You do want to clean it maybe with a little rubbing alcohol and maybe a baby wipe. Or if you have a pan of water, you can set it in that for a bit, okay? So that is that one. And then I'm going to pull this out, and I am going to take her and hope, let me turn this fan off, that she will still make or leave an impression in that watercolor ground, okay? Oh, got a little smushy, but that's okay. Remember this, I did a better impression on this one. However, remember that this is watercolor, so when I finally can go in and begin to paint, okay, that will be able to be manipulated, okay? So I'm going to set those aside, and you know, just wanted to at least show you how I did both of those, and now these are ready to paint on and have a little fun. Okay, so let's pull out our watercolors. You could also use your layer cakes. You can use watercolor, even like crayons, pencils. Oh gosh, just, you know, throw the kitchen sink at it and have a little fun. One of the reasons I love doing this is because I like the opportunity to watercolor paint on this type of a panel. You know, it just gives you a completely different feel and look. So I'm going to just start over here, and you can just have fun layering your watercolor right on those right on there. And, you know, it's a blueprint. Maybe I just want to paint the whole dang thing blue. I don't know. Just do one at a time, okay? Not to be confusing. Two different looks with the same technique. And I, of course, wanted to be able to pull out one of Megan's stamps from her collection. My favorite. And the kind of cool thing is that I'm going to be able to get some of those really nice little washes and, you know, sort of, I don't know, sometimes little blossoms or just little gradations on this wood, which normally you would not be able to do, right? Let's just take some other colors just for fun. I've just been debating what I should do. Just go even darker out here. I don't really know if I like that cerulean blue out there. I think I'll just have some fun with a little more dry line. And what's cool, and the thing about this is I know you can't really see the texture, which is sort of a bummer because you can see how it's kind of catching on some of the like brighter white areas, you know? And it does sort of react just like watercolor paper. You can use your thirsty brush to pull things out and just continue to move stuff and layer it. If you don't like it, maybe I don't. Maybe I do want to keep this whole thing blue. I don't know. Let's just blot. I want to blot that up, and then I am going to just go back in and I love also the idea, I haven't gotten there yet, but the idea of over stamping on this as well. So, and I'll show you what I mean when I get there. But I think that's part of what kind of excites me about doing this is being able then to stamp again and pull some color out and just continue to get really beautiful layers and washes and make it sort of abstracty. That's really one of the things I wanted to do with this image anyway. I had sort of visions of abstraction, you know? And I like leaving some of the white kind of showing too. Again, if you want to pull some color out, it's very easy to pull it right back up, okay? That's, again, I think one of the beautiful things about it. So, Give you some more lights, you know, some highlight areas. Again, thirsty brush. Deeper color down here. Remember, layer, 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 layer. And right now I'm moving things around because I want a consistent, you know, gradient, I can't talk, gradation, or just consistent wash. So sometimes you have to sort of pick at it a little bit and babysit your layers. You can see as it'll dry, it will sort of get more diffused because it will dry lighter. Okay, so Kathy, welcome. Hello, Sharon. Nice to have you here. So yes, again, keep in mind that it's something that you'll want to layer and put more colors or, you know, deeper values in certain spots, especially if, you know, you want it to dry sort of bright or deep, because it will dry a lot lighter. Okay. You can go back in and give sort of more details. And it's really up to you how much you want to keep working on it, you know, and how abstracted that you want to make it. You definitely can. And then, of course, you're going to also want to let certain things dry if you do want to go in and, you know, make little patterns and things like that, because you can't really do that on wet areas. Okay. So again, sort of just going through, babysitting your washes, watching, you know, where things are moving, and just continue to have fun with it and play with it. And you can add to it. Maybe I will do just a teeny bit of that yellow again. Clean brush, just a little bit of that gold color, the windows, just a little. Anyway, I like the way this one's coming together. I'll leave that be for a bit, and I can always go back, like I said, and add some more layers, some more little details. I could also use my water-soluble crayons or my colors. These are looking pretty rough, but you get the idea, right? Wanted to add some other sort of texture too, you know, and also have a little more control that way. So if you wanted to go in and put some more little lines or, again, values, whatever, you know, so that's kind of fun. And then again, with your you know, layer cakes, if you want, I would definitely love to use my navy blue Stabilo. This would be a great one because it's nice and dark, and I could put some darker value and kind of color, you know, color in if I wanted to, even just to accentuate stuff, you know. Anyway, if you wanted to continue on, right? I liked it even just how it was, but if you love to play like I do and experiment, then maybe you want to pull out some of your other, we don't buy all this stuff just to look at it, right? So pull it out and play with it and use it and enjoy it. Remember, if you don't like something, right, you can, again, get a little water on your brush and kind of smush it out a little bit. Go over here, down this side just a bit. Don't know if I love that, okay, but that's okay. Remember, because smushy, smushy. One more time, I will just repeat myself to say that you do want your watercolor grounds to be very dry before you paint, okay? So 24 hours is what I recommend, all right? So again, if I want to even then let this dry a bit and over stamp it one more time, I could get some of that same sort of blueprint texture back in there. But if not, like this is a great start. I think that I could definitely do just a very little bit, push it just a little bit more and actually have a finished piece. And to do that, I would probably paint my edges, let it dry a little bit further, put a couple other layers, maybe a word, I don't know, and call it finished. If not, I mean, I can still continue to layer up on top of this and, have a finished piece of art, right? So I'm going to set that one aside. I want to pull out one more cradle panel. I'll show you this. Because remember, we had that extra stamping, right, from the watercolor grounds. And I know you can't see that very well, but I have one here that is the same thing, but it has a little bit of blue acrylic on there. Okay, just a tiny bit. I'm going to take another, and this was just a byproduct, okay, of that pressing. But if you are like me and you save your stamp offs or your ghost print, you can then utilize it as something to collage with. Okay, so this will make a great base layer, and to do that, all I'm going to do is cut this out. Right, I'm going to smush a little of my PVA glue. Maybe. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, I just went and got myself scrap buddies. Now, where did I put them? Okay, I'm going to use my scrap buddy. And of course, if you're collaging, it's very helpful to do your backside of your paper or whatever you're collaging and your substrate. So I'm going to try to at least smush a little glue on the back of that. And then I'm going to pop that right on there. Right, I wish you could feel this because this has such a nice texture. All right, it's going to be great too because it has, you know, almost like a little bit of resist. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my file. I hope you've all seen me do this. This is my very helpful handy technique. If you're collaging this way, you don't have to measure or, you know, anything. You're just gonna take your ArtFoamies file and just file that puppy right off. And then you can do all your edges and get a really nice, seamless edge, you know, and one that's very kind of burnished right to the edge of your panel. All right, so, and there you have something to work right on. I think, honestly, I'm just going to take a little color here. Let's take a little of this cobalt teal, and I will just kind of show you. That is going to pick that up and make it almost like, I don't know, it's just going to pick up on the bald spots of the paper, where the blue is on there is kind of resisting it because that is acrylic. So just, it makes it really fun, you know, and you can, again, layer up and get some great looks. And it almost looks like embossed is really, you know, if you can see where even the watercolor soaks in to the bald spots of the paper, and it's a little deeper there, darker. So you get automatically a little bit, you know, of darker values, and that's kind of fun. It's a little bit of gray, and it's going to turn that white a different color, and so that's just, again, kind of a fun and cool byproduct of, can you see that? So it's kind of, yeah, really cool. All right, you could do that with a little graphite too. A little graphite would be a great color for that. It's just a darker color, and I'm using it in, you know, pretty watery. Oh, it's kind of cool, right? And then you can continue again to keep layering up around it. Again, what has happened is some of the bald spots of that paper accepted the darker watercolor, and that's why it's kind of popping up like that. Okay, so it will, once it dries, it's going to kind of go back to, you know, being sort of light, but you can keep filling that in. You could even maybe use a little bit of translucent or transparent acrylic too. All right, so fun ways to use your blueprint stamp. Okay, kind of, ooh, you could have a little series going, right? Yeah, so fun. Anyway, and then I will just get started over here, just showing you again the difference between sort of the no lines, right? Because that I used uninked, and then this I loaded the stamp with graphite. Okay, so it's nice because you're gonna get sort of a dark outline. Okay, but it's going to be what am I trying to say? You're going to be able to sort of manipulate that line a little bit, and it's going to look like a watercolor. And so I'm going to love that. Now my background color that I'm using right now, I am using a dark color, and it is a Payne's Gray Violet. Okay, so it's kind of a dark, inky color. Perfect for inky. And again, you know, you can treat it like a watercolor surface, okay? I will tell you that it does move, of course, differently than your watercolor paper is going to do, but you can still get some really beautiful transitions and, you know, sort of that same kind of movement that you can get with your watercolors on paper. So don't be afraid to, you know, really load it up like you would. And it's nice because, you know, you're not having to worry about your paper buckling, right? But I will say one more time that probably would have had a little better success if I could have had 2 coats. But I didn't start preparing it until late, so. All right, it's moving a little weird right now, but I'm going to let that sort of dry, and we will go, for those of you who would like to join me for the after party over in Patreon, the link has been shared, so you can come on over and we will finish painting her. But before we go, of course, we're going to have a numbers game, and I do want to show you something else very exciting, or at least exciting for me, talk to you about that, and we're going to play the numbers game if y'all want to do that. Because, you know, I had pulled out a few pieces of collage paper from, I'm going to move her for a second, okay? So, oh yeah, these are, Heather, these are just watercolors directly from my tubes. I just love these little these are, I bought these on Mercari, little chopstick holders, and I just wanted easy little palettes with some of my favorite colors. They stack so nicely, see? So, but they are just, mostly they're my core watercolors. I do have a few Holbein like that, and then core and Holbein, and maybe a couple Winsor Newton. Yeah, that's because I squeezed them. I squeezed them all messed up. Anyway, okay, so for those of you who are familiar with the Collage Soup books, I am so super excited to announce that I am coming out with one with Emily. I collaborated with Emily Stone to do my own collage book with her. And this is just a little color copy of the cover. I'm so excited. It should be here any day now. I will be listing them, but I'm super excited that it is going to be called The House That Kay Built. Woohoo! And so our drawing tonight, or not drawing, but our numbers game is going to be for a copy of the book, okay? Which they're on their way to me right now. So if you want to start guessing a number between 1 and 100, the first person to guess closest without going over will win a copy of my Collage Soup book, which I will mail as soon as it arrives in my hands. And so I will call out your number. I'm going to give you until 4:48. You can, again, guess a number between 1 and 100, and I'm going to call out your name so that you know that I saw it. Ron McFarlane, 59. Virginia, 58. Shiny Things, 38. Sharon, 24. Catherine, 18. Ron, also known as Patty, 59. Sharon, 18. Sharon Eberlin, 18. Nancy's Art, 45. Ginger Sparks, 33. Sherry, 9. Lisa, 13. Lydia Leonard, 44. Patty's Vintage Shop, 22. Susan Handsome, 17. Terry Moore, 18. Orange Spiral, 89. D. Kilroy, 43. Cecilia, 91. Megan, 30. Evelyn, 28. Krabby Abby, 73. Jenny Maroney, 34, Ellen, 26, Dare B, 77, Marika, 36, Andrea, 24, Heather Bailey, 4, Pam Shales, 23, Phyllis Rollins, 29, Roberta, 29, D. Ray, 9, Acubanita, 7, Christina, 17, Acme Post, 53, Rini, 37. It's okay. You can guess the same number, but you can, yeah, I know a lot of people guess the same number. You can't really change numbers because then it gets too confusing. So it just has to be the first person that guessed the correct number, if anybody did. Mary Lynn Kelly, 29, Carmen Jones, 27, Terry Moore, 53. Yes, if I didn't say you only get one guess, you only get one guess. Otherwise, it's too confusing, and then you could just be guessing all night. All right, you have one more minute. I'm going through to see. So far, nobody is right on the money, so I am going to. I gotta find the closest person. Okay, Krings, 35. Okay, no more numbers. We're done calling numbers. Kay Krings was the last one at 35, and our winner is, okay, it has to be the closest without going over, and it looks like, let me just make sure, yes, it does look like Dare B is our winner at 77. The winning number was 88. And the closest person actually was Brianna, but she went over. So the next person closest without going over is Dare B at 77. So Dare B, I will send you the collage book, okay, as soon as it comes in. And it should be here any day, all right? Congratulations, and thank you so much for coming and being here and playing and having fun with me. I hope you'll come on over to the after party at 5. You can get the link on my Patreon page and anything else that you want to go over and check out, okay? So I'm going to turn this camera around one more time. Here's our little makeys from tonight. Again, using our golden core watercolor grounds. All right, I hope you had as much fun as I did, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, wonderful weekend first, but that's gonna fly by, and then a great week, and I will see you next Friday for another exciting edition of ArtFoamies Fun, and don't forget, we will have something super exciting next week, so make sure you come back, all right? Stay safe, stay sane, stay makey. I love you to the moon and back, and I'll see y'all real soon. Have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.